Hello everyone, we are officially starting today's webinar. My name is Ilan Asbal. You can see me on my little webcam. It's the first time I'm using a webcam, so you know I normally come to work in shorts and a t-shirt, but today I dressed up for you. I'm actually wearing a collar, so I hope you all appreciate that. I'm seeing there's people from all over the world here. It is absolutely amazing what a turnout we have today. Errol has confirmed to me that in the few years he's been at Autochartist, this is definitely the biggest webinar we've ever hosted. Certainly, I can't recall ever having a webinar with this many people. We're hundreds of people, hundreds and hundreds of people, just in case some of you are wondering how many are attending this. So I'll put it out there before I even get going. I'm going to put it out there that we are definitely not going to be able to keep up with all the questions that are streaming through. So I'm apologizing up front that we are not going to be able to get to everyone's questions and answers. So Errol is going to try and help me as much as he can, but you know, he's also going to flag a few questions that he thinks might be interesting to many of you, and he's going to interrupt me during the presentation. So you know, we'll see how it goes. We'll get to as many as we can. My presentations are normally pretty short and sweet. I know everybody's busy, and what we'll do is we'll try and leave 10 to 15 minutes towards the latter end of this presentation just to answer some of the questions. So with all that being said and done, let's kick off. So just to introduce myself, my name is Ilan. I am the CEO at Autochartist. I'm one of the founders of the company, and once every 2 or 3 weeks, I have an opportunity to present to our clients, such as yourself, and I'm really privileged to do that. And so, what you see in front of you in the screen right now is our homepage, autochartist.com. I put that up there so that you actually know where to actually get hold of our product. You can see our URL. If you want to actually log into our product, many of the leading brokers in the world offer our services for free. If you have live accounts with them, all you got to do is click on the login broker partners page, and you will be redirected to a page with many broker logos, and each of those brokers offers Autochartist free to their clients. So I encourage you to visit your broker and get access to our services. Different brokers offer different different packages of our different packages that we have, but the majority of them offer pretty much all of our services. If you have any questions with regards to broker support, just drop us an email, support@autochartist.com. Errol, if I can ask you to mute your mic, please. Okay, right, I was hearing some feedback. Thanks. So, okay, so once you get access to Autochartist, what you will see on your screen and you log in is a screen that looks something like this. And of course, sticking to today's topic of conversation, which is support and resistance levels, that's what we're going to be talking about today. So I'm not going to be speaking much about how to use Autochartist in terms of which buttons to click. I'll obviously allude to this kind of stuff, but I mostly want to speak on topic as to, what support and resistance actually means in the marketplace. Before I get going, I just want to ask one or two questions of all of you so I know how to direct the actual conversation. So the first question I want to ask is if you could all answer, which asset classes do you trade? And it's a multiple choice question. Not multiple choice. I mean multiple selection. So you can all select many asset classes that you trade. Okay. So by far today we have forex traders, stocks and futures with options, bringing up the rear. Okay. Thanks everyone. So primarily forex and stocks, and then. And I've got another question for you, which is, what sessions do you trade? Which means really what I'm asking is, what time of day do you actually trade the markets? Okay, so our primary audience today is by far London and US. Less of you trade the Asian markets. Okay. All right. Okay. So I've got one more poll question to ask, but I'll ask that later on in the presentation. So let's get going. So what you have in front of you here is an opportunity that Autochartist has identified about 30 minutes ago. It's an opportunity on pound US dollar. Okay, and I'm going to draw some pictures on the screen. So what is support and resistance? This here is a resistance level that Autochartist has identified on GBP USD 30-minute data. Okay, now you can see this is very, very clear resistance over here. 1, 2, 3, 4 touching points of this resistance level. Now, another important aspect that you've got to look for when you're looking at support and resistance levels are very strong breakouts around that level. So if you look back at this resistance level that was identified by Autochartist, you can see quite clearly in this region over here and in this region over here, there was consolidation and very, very strong volatility and the breakouts happening at the same level. So all those indicators actually point to the fact that this level of 167.25 is a very significant level in GBP USD. Right? So we've had two significant breakouts on the upside and the downside, and about 4 or 5 touching points where the price has actually touched that level. Let's look at a few other examples quickly before we start explaining what these levels actually mean. If we look at this support level over here, this support level on Australian dollar, Hong Kong dollar, you can see that this support level is not as significant, right? There was only 1 touching point and 2 touching points over here, right? Now, not as significant, but Autochartist identifies this for you anyway. Okay, so as you can see, there's seems to be a lot more other significant kind of levels happening elsewhere, but certainly there is a move towards this level that was found earlier, which is around 6.9268 on Australian dollar, Hong Kong dollar. Right. So there's one thing that's quite important with regards to support and resistance is really this value of significance over here. So Autochartist measures significance by how many times a level was actually touched or come close to touching, right, in the history of that pattern. Okay, so we can look at a few more examples. If we actually look at this column on the right-hand side here, which is a quality column, we can actually see the significance of certain levels. Okay, here we can see touching point 1, 2, 3. There's a lot of consolidation around that level, right? Interestingly enough, this is another thing which is very important in terms of support and resistance is hitting the level, right? And then this resistance level becoming support, which you can clearly see over here. And again, becoming support over here. Strong breakout on the downside, and then strong breakout, and then consolidation at the same level. And then again, another touching point at that level. These type of things make a support or resistance level very, very important. Now, in terms of what support and resistance actually mean, if you think about what we're actually doing at Autochartist, what we're doing is we're trying to uncover market psychology, right? So when you look at something like support and resistance, when you compare this to looking at something like a moving average, right? A moving average or an RSI or a Bollinger Band or all of these other technical indicators, you really are looking at an arithmetic equation, right? That tells you about something about the market. Okay, and because of that arithmetic equation, take certain parameters, you can pretty much come out with whatever answer you feel like coming out to. If you use an RSI of 14 candles in length, you'll get one answer. If you use an RSI of 200 candles, you'll get maybe a completely different answer. Right? The thing about support and resistance is obviously to take those kind of parameters out of the equation and actually looking at a visual concepts in the market and visual support and resistance. And now what that actually reveals to us are very important psychological levels, right? So many people talk about psychology of the market, and I speak to many professional traders, and many of them have actually even resigned themselves to the fact that they don't even use moving averages and RSIs and Bollingers and MACDs because they're overused in the market. They don't really tell you anything. But almost 100% of traders, both amateur as well as professional, actually use support and resistance to actually trade the markets, because they're a good indicator of significant levels, good indicator of psychological levels in the market. Now, obviously, support and resistance come in many different forms. Okay, so I just showed you some horizontal support and resistance levels. There are other forms of support and resistance levels in the market. Some of you are stocks traders, so let's actually look at some stocks examples. All right. Let's just quickly find, there's a lot of head and shoulders over here. Okay, so here, for example, is let me see if there's a breakout. Give me 1 second, everyone. It looks like I've got this thing filtered to head and shoulder patterns. Give me 1 second, everyone. I'm just going to change my filtering away from head and shoulder patterns to all patterns. Well, that was a bit of a fumble, right? During a presentation, I should have prepared that. But there goes to show you that I'm not cherry picking examples, so you should all feel a lot better about this presentation. Okay, so here's another example of a different form of support and resistance. Okay, this form of support and resistance is in the form of technical chart patterns. All right. Now the thing about technical chart patterns is that they are not horizontal in nature. As you can see in this example of an NYC listed company, HCN, okay, which is Healthcare Rate Incorporated. Now you can see that there is a downward slope, right, to the support and resistance level. Okay, and now Autochartist has identified a breakout through resistance. Now one would potentially ask me, Lan, would you trade such a breakout? My answer is that this is potentially a breakout I would not trade as yet. Okay, if I actually zoom into this chart over here, what I would actually do is one moment. Okay, what I would actually do is I would actually wait for more significant breakouts. What actually happened over here, there's been consolidation at that level. Okay, now there was a breakout, but it wasn't significant at all, right? And we think it's going to 63,603. But if, in my opinion, that you would only trade such a pattern if the price broke maybe to $58, right, through the $58 mark or the $59 mark to confirm the breakout. This breakout is not significant at all. And what Autochartist does is that it actually tries to give you an idea of the significance of the breakout. So let me show you what I mean. If you look at the significance of this breakout, right, it's on we give it a rating of 1 out of 10, which means that the breakout was not significant at all, right? It merely touched the resistance level. Okay. Now, in my trading experience, the two most valuable indicators that I like to look at with regards to the quality of the pattern, are the initial trend and the breakout. Those are the two things that I like to look at. Now, if you're asking what do those two values actually mean, let me quickly show you. If I go and edit the search screen and I click on Advanced Search, I'll just wait for all of your screens to update. I click on Advanced Search and then I scroll down a little bit. It shows a great there's a great visual explanation of what these things actually mean. So when I say initial trend and breakout, I'm looking at these two values over here. So a weak initial trend means that the pattern was formed with seemingly from prior noise, right, without a strong initial trend, right? So this is a weak initial trend. A strong initial trend means it was a definitive move in the prior to the formation of the pattern. With regards to your breakout, you can see quite clearly a weak breakout means a candle that didn't really significantly go through support resistance. It kind of trailed through there. A significant breakout is a very significant move directly through support resistance. So for me, a breakout is really, really important, which means there's been a strong move through an important psychological level in the market. This is something I would most certainly look at as an example. Now Autochartist identifies many different types of technical chart patterns, right? So it's not only falling wedges and triangles and head and shoulders. There's double tops, triple bottoms, triple tops, all sorts of patterns. Now, getting back to the topic of support and resistance, and I'll get to our performance stats in just a moment, but certainly we have empirical evidence that horizontal or close to horizontal levels that were identified by Autochartist are far more significant in nature. So if you had to ask me, Ilan, if I had to choose which chart patterns are the best ones to trade, I'll actually tell you what, in my opinion, again, the way I do it is I actually go into my filter settings and I actually go down to the very bottom, which is the end here, which says which patterns to select, and I actually select things called horizontal patterns. Horizontal patterns means patterns that have at least one horizontal level in them. Those are ascending triangles, descending triangles, head and shoulders, inverse head and shoulders, triple tops, triple bottoms, double tops, and double bottoms. Those are the patterns which are my personal favorites. I love to trade anything that has a horizontal level in the market. Now Autochartist obviously will give you all types of information. One of them is obviously where there's been a breakout, all right, through a support level. Here, for example, is a very, very nice breakout through a support level. Lots of touchy points, a very significant level clearly around the 78 mark, and then a strong breakout downwards. Okay, now Autochartist obviously gives you other ability to be proactive in the market. Now, for example, here is an example of what we call an emerging pattern, right? We're about to rename them. Actually, we're about to start renaming them to be approaching patterns, right? So what's actually happened in this example is that Autochartist has identified a support level at around the $31 mark, and we have found that the price has actually recently rebounded off a resistance level and heading towards the support level. Now, if you have a very, very highly leveraged position where you can take a very short-term position, you could trade this instrument. This is NCR, listed on the New York Stock Exchange. You could trade it short. However, for many of us that don't have that ability, what it gives you the opportunity to do is actually trade it proactively. So what I mean by that is one could actually create an imaginary level here at $31, right, and actually trade this short if the price breaks through $31. So you could, for example, put a pending order in the market, right, expecting a breakout, and if the price goes down and then rebounds, you haven't opened your position, right? But if the price goes down, hits the support level, breaks through, hits your pending order level, you can actually set a pending order in the market, and you're going to be proactively in the market instead of being reactive and having to wait for a signal or wait for your watch list to give you some kind of alert, or even wait for Autochartist to give you an alert. So this is a simple way of actually trading support or resistance proactively. Let me quickly switch to example in the forex market, seeing as many of you are actually forex traders. I think I have this filtered down as well. Yeah, I have this filtered. Excuse me, everyone. That's me playing around with Autochartist before this presentation. So I've just removed all the filters. I'm hoping to get all my results coming through now. Right. So there's a lot of forex traders amongst you. So let me look at a few forex examples instead of focusing purely on stocks. So you can actually play with these filters that I'm playing with right now. You can see you can get these filters by clicking on the results filter button that I have on my right hand side over here. So for example, right now I'm only showing key levels, both breakouts and approaches. So if you look at this little red icon over here, the little red or green icon means there's been a breakthrough through a support level. If it's a gray icon, means that the price is still approaching it. Right? So let's look at that example we had here on Australian dollar, New Zealand dollar, right? So that was identified 3 candles ago. You can see the age is 3 on 15-minute candles. So it was identified about 45 minutes ago. And you can see quite clearly very strong support. 1, 2, close to support over here. 3, 4, 5, endless counts of rebounding off this level, and then finally a very distinctive, definitive move through that support level. With Autochartist, of course, gives you a subsequent forecast down to 1.0803 for this instrument. Now, some of you may have noticed these little transparent candles that exist on this chart. These transparent candles are actually for us to show you what happened subsequent to our forecast. Right. So subsequent to our forecast, we've had 3 15-minute candles that have developed, and we draw them in little transparent candles. We at Autochartist, we don't take back what we've said before. Right. We have complete transparency with what we give you. So if we say something's broken through support level, we actually provide you that information that it's broken through support, and we keep this. This trading opportunity available on the Autochartist screen until it becomes what we call non-relevant or expired. Okay, expired means it's gone completely in the wrong direction and isn't tradable anymore, or it hits the level that we've set. Now, if you want to look at some of the more recent expired trading opportunities, you can click on this expired trading opportunity section, right, to actually see what's happened. So so let's just try to find a few older ones. These are actually very recent, so we don't have much expiry. So here's one that we call badly. Okay, so we identified a support level on Euro GBP, I think it was. It was Euro GBP. Actually, wasn't too bad. So we identified the support. It moved towards support. Actually looked like it touched support and then rebounded off. Right. So if you look at this little interesting scenario over here, that if we had taken our previous strategy of actually opening our short position only when the price is actually broken through, we wouldn't have actually had a breakout and wouldn't have actually opened a position. And clearly, Autochartist actually I'm quite impressed, actually did a pretty good job identifying that support level. You can see it identified it, moved towards it, and then rebounded. But now Autochartist says it's no longer tradable. This is no longer a significant support level due to current market movement. But again, I only stick right now to active trading opportunities. The expired stuff is just there for your own interest. So there is something else that Autochartist does for you with regards to some of the possible support resistance levels in the market, and that is what we call our volatility analysis. Now, many of you use volatility analysis to set stop loss or take profit positions. Now, maybe I should take a step back and actually describe what volatility analysis is. Volatility analysis is just an analysis of historical volatility at a specific time of day for a specific day of the week of what we can expect this instrument to do. So if you're looking, for example, at Euro GBP on Thursday, 10:15 a.m., this is New York time, for the next 4 hours, we don't expect the price of Euro GBP to trade outside of 0.8218 and 0.8244. Right? So this is a range-bound movement. Now, many of you might think, well, how is that related to support resistance? It's important to remember that support and resistance actually gets formed in the market in many different ways. It's not only about where the turning points of the price movements are. There's also a certain amount of resistance based on how much movement an instrument can actually make in a given point of time. So, for example, if, for example, we see a Euro GBP moving way through this level, right, to 0.8246, so 0.822026 or something like this, right, completely in some kind of exceptional move, one has to wonder, is this some kind of breakout or volatility, or what's going on in the market? Because it should actually retrace back, right? So there's some type of inherent resistance and support based on historical volatility, right? So if I look at the movement per hour of the day, so this instrument, I'm now New York time, 10 a.m. New York time. So in this hour, I expect on average this instrument to trade around 16 pips on average, and somewhere for about 67% of the time, I'd expect to trade between 14 and 18 pips in an hour, in this hour of the day. Now, if it trades outside of that, one needs to potentially look at saying, you know, is this actually going to be retracing? And I know many of you are probably trading some sort of binary options, and I'm not promoting the use of binary options. I think they're a very high risk, highly volatile type of instrument, but certainly, you know, very soon Autochartist are going to be releasing a product into the binary option space, which discusses actually exceptional movements in the market and potentials to actually profit based on exceptional market moves and retracements in the market, right? And I think Errol, if I'm not mistaken, you probably set up a webinar soon on that topic for me, right? I think it's in 2 or 3 weeks' time, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, Ilan, it's coming soon.
Okay, great. Yeah. Okay. So just to give you an idea, that support and resistance can be formed in more ways than just actual turning points. Now, I wanted to show you this example over here, Singapore dollar, Japanese yen. I wanted to show you another important thing which many of you have heard, but some of you don't actually rationalize it, about support and resistance levels. There's one very important characteristic, is that in many situations, another good indication of the importance of a support and resistance level is the fact that it switches between support and resistance, right? So, for example, over here, Autochartist identified this resistance level, its currently resistance is 81.06, right, on Singapore dollar, Japanese yen. But look at the past. It was resistance over here. There was a breakout, then support, then another strong breakout, then support again, another strong breakout, then this level was resistance, then another breakout, and support, a rebound off the level, then another strong breakout, and resistance at the level, right? So you can see, and you hear it again and again and again, but Autochartist does a pretty good job about identifying these types of levels that keep on changing between support, resistance, support, resistance, support, resistance, right? They keep alternating. This is a very important characteristic of significant levels. Now, what else? Tell me. I wonder if any of you can guess. Yeah, I've actually never done that. I always end up talking. I've never actually asked all of you a question. Let me ask all of you a question. Do you, other than what I've said to you now about support and resistance switching each other, right, switching between support and resistance, can any of you see anything else that would make this level significant in the market? I'm putting a question out to all of you. I've had enough of talking. Let me ask all of you a question. Anything else that any of you can see that would make this level significant? Ha! We've got it. Wow, the first answer was right. Thank you, Ian. Ian, give yourself a round of applause, a pat on the back. Ian said, notice the number, 81.06, right? It's a whole number, right? You will find this again and again and again. Whole numbers, very, very important in the market. This is just another thing that's making this level on SGD JPY, Singapore dollar, Japanese yen, significant, right? Whole numbers, I cannot emphasize it anymore. Right. So if you're looking at, even if you decide, if you walk away from this webinar and you decide that Autochartist is not the tool for you, do me a favor and do what Ian is telling you to do, which is draw the whole numbers on your chart. You know, whatever platform you use, just take a horizontal drawing tool and just draw horizontal lines all over the whole numbers on your chart, because those will inevitably, in my experience and empirically, through empirical evidence with Autochartist, they keep on consistently coming up again and again and again as significant levels that you have to watch. Either play the rebounds or the breakouts or approaches towards those levels. Okay. Now, Errol, I kind of before I show people other things in the Autochartist product suite regarding support resistance, I was wondering if there's any significant questions that I could answer right now.
Hi, then. There are one or two. There's not many. So one is just Mike wants to know, what is the new name for emerging patterns?
Okay. So we're actually going to be changing. You see this? Let me circle it over here for all of you. So I'm just, here we go. So you see this word over here, emerging? We're potentially going to be changing that. We're going to be standardizing our terminology, and we're going to be standardizing it to approaches. So it's going to happen, the change is going to happen in the next few months, and we'll notify all of you of that. But essentially we're going to be switching to our new terminology, which is approaches or approaching patterns. And similarly for the breakouts, instead of having them complete and breakouts, we're all going to call them all breakout patterns. The reason primarily is because people thought that when we use the word complete, the opportunity can't be traded anymore. And they thought that, oh, this is finished, you know, the opportunity is finished. When actually it's the opposite, right? The opportunity has just arrived. So there's been a bit of a misunderstanding. So we're looking at basically calling them breakouts and approaches very soon. Of course, you know, it's not as simple as just changing a word on our application. There's translation changes, there's videos that need to be re-recorded, a whole bunch of educational material. So it's not quite as simple as just, you know, changing a word on the application. Okay, Errol, is there anything else?
I answered this myself, but I'm not sure if I actually answered.
Okay.
Yeah, there is another question. I'm not sure if I answered it correctly, so I just want to check with you.
Right.
When you were talking about the range that's in the volatility analysis,
yes,
the range of the day, is that your local time?
Oh, sorry, right. That was actually whatever you set Autochartist to. So let me quickly show you where to do that. Sorry, everyone. You know, I kind of skipped over the details, and I apologize. I'm sometimes good at that. I just look over the details. So on the top right-hand side of Autochartist, and when my screen updates for all of you, there is a drop-down where you can actually choose the time of day that you're on. I'm actually currently set to the default time, which is New York, Eastern Standard Time, New York, but you can change that to be whatever time you want. So, for example, if I choose, I guess, Europe, London, then everything you see at Autochartist will change, right? So if I open the volatility analysis, then you can see that my time now for volatility analysis is Thursday at 3:30 London time, right? And my movement per hour of day now is all in London time. So it's whatever time zone you actually choose on the top right of your application. And excuse me while I just switch mine back to New York. Although I'm not personally in New York, I'm actually in Austin, Texas. I'm in Central Time. I like to keep all my trading screens on New York time. It just seems easier for me. I'm not quite sure why. I'm a bit strange in that way. But I'm a little all over the place. But, you know, sometimes when you've been trading for a while, you kind of get these habits. And so I'm in the habit of looking at everything in Eastern Standard Time.
Okay, then.
Okay.
Andrew wants to know, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, when it comes to the support and resistance levels,
yeah.
And once it's broken out, how does Autochartist determine where the forecast price is?
Oh, that is a great question. Okay, all right. So there's two different ways in which we identify, forecast the prices. Now, let me quickly bring up just clicking around my chart patterns just to show you one or two examples. If you just give me one moment to show a nice simple example where I can actually show what is going on. All right. Okay, so here's a good example. So what Andrew is, let me clarify the question, just to make sure I'm getting it right. Andrew wants to know, once there's been a breakout, how do we forecast this type of breakout? It's quite simple, actually. Remember that Autochartist...
Yeah, I think he was looking more for key levels.
For key levels. Okay, well, let me describe both,
Yeah.
because the principle is actually similar for both. Okay, so now what happens with chart patterns is that you have this chart pattern that's formed here. Okay, now when the theory of chart patterns is that obviously there was some movement before that which we can't see right now. The theory of chart pattern is that what you do is you map the initial trend, right, to the breakout. That means that before this, although we can't see on the graph over here, there was obviously this movement that happened over here, which Autochartist then simply maps onto the breakout. All right. So Autochartist starts off with an initial forecast. In this example, the initial forecast would probably have been around 112.36, I'm guessing. But then what Autochartist does is that it takes the overall visual quality and simply scales that forecast with the visual quality, right? So, for example, if this is a 7 out of 10 little quality indicators, it would multiply it by 0.7 to get to your forecast. So we, in fact, at Autochartist, we simply automate, existing chart pattern theory, and just kind of flavor it, with our own kind of empirical stuff. So we map the initial trend, we map it onto the breakout, and then we scale it with the quality of the pattern. Now, obviously, for key levels, this is obviously different. Let me just bring those up. Let me just bring out a completed. Well, let me just say this before I show you how that works. Obviously, for the what we call approaching key levels, approaching are the ones with a little gray arrow that say approach. Those, obviously, the forecast level is the level at which we found support resistance, right? So that's obviously, I think, by default, all of you should know that. If you're looking at the actual breakout key levels, what we do is we look at the highest point, the biggest distance over here between the highest point between the level we've identified and the highest level at which the price reached away from that level. We map that underneath, and then we scale it by the significance. So this over here is about 1/3 the size of that mapping over here. So it always comes down to the same thing. A big movement mapped onto the breakout, scaled by the quality or the significance. Okay, so that is how we do it. I hope I've answered that question. Oh, what is the? Okay, all right. So, okay, Errol, I hope that answers the question. Sorry, I'm just trying to. These questions are coming up too quickly for me. I can't look at my presentation and at my screen at the same time. So I'm looking to you to just call out the questions for me, please.
Yeah, no, they're coming quickly for me too.
Yeah.
And they're different. They're all different types of questions.
I'm not used to dealing with such a big crowd. I need more practice with these large crowds.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Well, Mark Roberts is asking: are support and resistance levels the same or more relevant on higher time frames?
Yeah, it's a good question. Let's quickly go to some of our performance stats. Can I ask Mark if he trades stocks or if he trades forex or futures? I wonder if he's going to ask FX. Okay, Mark, let's look at FX. I'm just looking at my performance stats. So here's my performance stats on FX. So This performance stats are obviously not about how much, just a disclaimer, these performance stats are not about how much money you can make using Autochartist. It's simply a measure of how many of our forecasts hit their target region, hit the forecast region, right? How much profit you would make depends on other things like what kind of stop levels you put in, what kind of money management strategies you put in. There's a whole bunch of other stuff, right? So we're not getting involved in that. We just want to look at how many of our forecasts hit their target region. So if we look at the interval on Autochartist, now over here, significance by interval, right? So if you look at the 15-minute breakouts on key levels, we hit about 73%, 73, 74. Is it more significant? No. Our stats don't show that they're more significant, not from the Autochartist perspective. So I would have to say, I know that the theory has it that they're more significant, but I think empirical evidence sometimes disproves many theories in the world. But the strategy that I actually like to use is correlating levels. Errol, should I send everyone to my personal Twitter account? What do you say, Errol? Am I taking a massive risk here?
Go for it, Ilan. You need to drop up your numbers.
Okay. All right, guys. So I have put together my personal little Twitter account where I put together that alerts you when there is correlating levels in the market. Correlating signals means that there's a breakout in a chart pattern as well as support resistance levels, and they're kind of pointing in the same direction. Disclaimer: this is my personal thing. I just, I pulled some strings at Autochartist to get access to their API, obviously being the CEO, but it's my personal Twitter little game that I play. So I think it's called @Asbel Favorites. Can all of you see my screen? So Asbel Favorites is my little Twitter account, and I actually send through little tweets where you have multiple signals which correlates to the same levels. Now it doesn't look pretty and it doesn't look good, but it's my personal stuff. If you want to use it, you can use it. Just go to Asbel Favorites, @Asbel Favorites on my Twitter account. But certainly getting back to the question of whether it's more significant on high time levels. If you're looking for significance, I would certainly look for correlating directionality, right? So if your chart pattern corresponds to your key level, which corresponds to the direction of a moving average, or something else, whatever you choose to combine, the more indicators that tell you something is going in a certain direction, for me, I prefer using that as a measure of significance. Okay, I went a bit roundabout. Wow, I got taken off somewhere on a different tangent. I'm sorry about that, everyone. Richard wants to see the Twitter account again. It's called Ilan Asbel Favorites. I don't know how to look for it. Errol, you know about this Twitter stuff. Is it @Asbel Favorites? What is the actual Twitter handle?
Yeah.
@Asbel Favorites. Okay, all right.
I'm actually not even sure.
Yeah.
If they just search Ilan Asbel Favorites.
Yeah, Ilan Asbel Favorites. Yeah. Don't get it confused with my own. I've got another one called Ilan Asbel. Don't follow that one. I don't do anything on that one. Just go Ilan Asbel Favorites. That's but again, this is, guys, disclaimer. This is my personal thing, right? This is Autochartist is not involved in this. This is just my personal little thing that I did. In fact, I did it for our internal trading competition. So a lot of the guys at the office are actually using it for our internal trading competition, funnily enough. But anyway, okay. Okay, look, we're running out of time. I want to quickly just give you one or two quick things, guys. Please allow me 1 minute just to do a little bit of promotion, please. I beg you. Okay. We have a new section under our trading community section. there's a section called intraday trading analysis. It's one of our analysts now posts intraday trading analysis on our trading community section. So please go have a look at those things. This analysis is absolutely superb. And you can ask Errol. Errol will tell you he follows the stuff. This analysis is absolutely superb stuff. It's only available inside our trading community section. Soon, Errol, my understanding is that we're going to offer people to get this through email, correct, when it's posted, right, in our messaging and alert section.
Right? Yeah, that's correct, because he posts, and a lot of time people don't see it when it's posted.
Right, so in our messaging and alert section currently, our messaging and alert section only offers the ability to get a daily snapshot 3 times a day of our view of the market, but soon we're going to be adding other things in there as well, like the intraday trading analysis from our analysts. Of course, and then the last thing I want to show you is obviously our favorite section, which is a section that takes the trading opportunities we were looking at earlier, together with the performance stats, putting them together and providing you only the highest probability opportunities in the market right now for every asset class. So that's obviously disclaimer, that's based on past performance, and that might not be indicative of future performance. But certainly based on past performance, that is our highest probability indicators. If your broker doesn't offer this, our favorite section, please ask them to contact us. Sometimes it's difficult for us to convince brokers to get them to offer the additional services, but yeah, just let us know if your broker doesn't offer this. And I think that's it. Errol, I hope I have not disappointed anyone in terms of the quality of the presentation. And I hope you all have enjoyed it. I see most of you have stuck around. I think we've lost a few people, but certainly the majority of them have stuck around. I really appreciate the opportunity to talk to you all, and I hope you all have a good day.
Thanks, Ilan.
Thanks, everybody. Bye.